Hello, Alan and Judy. This is January the 18th, a nice winter morning. It was bright and clear, and here it is about 2:30 this afternoon, and it is 4 below zero. But clear as a crystal, and it's awful pretty, but it's awful cold. Your mother is sorting away some things here, kind of getting them put away so that she'll know just what she's going to get when she's looking for it. So when she gets this done, why, even though it is cold, we're going to go out and, just for a little exercise and just to get out of the house a while. We're going to go out to the shopping center and look around a little bit and see what's going on, and just to kill some time and have something to do, I guess. So Regina, now, would you like to say hello to the kids while I'm doing something else?
Yeah, hi, Alan and Judy. Well, like Raleigh told you, we're going to go out to the shopping center and we're going to do a little bit of walking. We walk out there, like I've told you before, and we keep in shape, makes us, limber and full of vim. I'm not prepared to make a speech now, so I'm going to...
Oh, come on now, talk a little bit. Come on, talk a little bit.
I don't know what
Tell
to
them
say.
what you... We was over to see Doc and
Yeah, we were over to see Bernice and Doc, and...
took the tapes over.
Yeah, we took your tapes over, and I'm going to tell you something. The next time that you send a tape, would you mention on the tape and say, Auntie Bernice and Uncle Albert, we are planning on you coming in June, that they can fly in? No, Raleigh, they can fly in. They won't go with us.
They have to fly because I don't think we can take them.
No, well, we don't want to take them. No.
Well, we do want to take them, but I don't
no.
think Albert can stand it.
No, we couldn't stand that. So, but just mention, I know it would please them. I think they kind of expected something to be said on the tape the other day when you said coming in for Nancy's graduation. So, if you would just do that, I think it would please them immensely, and they could fly in, and then Raleigh and I would come by.
Well, let me say something.
Yeah, go ahead.
Regina. Ellen, and that we would love to bring them along, and I think it'd be a lot of fun if we could. But I don't think that Albert will be able to make such a long trip.
No.
I doubt very much if he could even fly.
I doubt it too.
And Bernice is not at all, and I know she can't help him very much.
No, but we could make them feel like they...
Well, and make them feel better, sure.
Yeah, and then they think they're going to go.
We don't want to encourage them too much, and then have a letdown on them.
No way.
That's what I'm thinking about. Well,
yeah,
so much for right now. We'll talk to you just a little bit later now.
Yeah.
Fun things, but I'm sure glad to see that old trailer be moved, and I hope then that they'll put a nice trailer in there. I hope he won't put an old one. I kind of doubt it, because it is a kind of a nice location, living across from the Calverts and all that. How's that for superiority, huh? If you don't like yourself, you aren't going to like, and nobody else is going to like you, right? Oh, let's see. Well, Larry and Bonnie were up today up at the office. They brought Josh in for his first examination. He was a month yesterday, and they know they got to bring him up there whenever they're in the building. And Larry came with her and with them, and he was carrying Josh, of course, and came up, and I had to let me show him off again. A mighty fine boy, I'll tell you. I won't go into him again. You're going to get sick of hearing me go on about my grandson. But he's a beauty. I still haven't got these teeth conquered. They make me so nervous, that thing across the roof of my mouth. Plus, they're still sore. I tried to bite into a piece of bread tonight, and I just simply can't do it. I have to tear it off. I mean, I can't bite anything as yet. I called Waffle Tuesday and said this eye tooth next to this partial was all red and swollen, and I got bumps up across the top of the roof of my mouth, and I thought, oh Lord, I hope he got all those root tips. And I was a little unhappy because he didn't take an x-ray after he dug this one out, because I've seen this happen before at the dental office, where they think they have all of that root tip dug out, and then you get a little piece and it floats around in there and really causes a lot of trouble, and they have to go in there and find it. But so he took an x-ray of it, and he said everything looked fine, and it's just taken a long time for it to heal because of all the digging and cramming that he had to do to get that tooth out. So I think each day it feels a little better. Now, I feel like I really graduated today. I just had 2 aspirins before I left for work this afternoon, and I took another one, OG, about 4 o'clock. So I'm doing much better because all of last week, why, every 4 hours I was throwing things down. So I wash it out with salt water and massage my gums every noon and every night. And it's just going to take some time. That's all there is to it. And I'll get her whipped eventually. I stopped at Cal Woods this noon, and Cal was just going out, and he said, when are your folks coming home? And he said, I suppose any day now. He said, they're just coming home and we're leaving. And I said, oh, where are you going? And he said, to Florida. He said, we're going to spend some time in Georgia, too. He said, I still have some family in Georgia. And he said, we go out on, he told me what the name of the island is. He said, a little island off somewhere in Georgia. And he said, it's only about 10 miles, 10 miles in width and length. And evidently they ferry the trailer over there, and he said we stay over there and we just love it. There's nice beach, and they go shelling, and he said they were really looking forward to it, and then they were heading on down for Florida, but they're getting a little late start. I think her mother got ill. They planned on leaving earlier, and then her mother got sick, and it held them up for a while, but he was just all smiles, ready to take off. I imagine it's a real nice feeling to have Denny be able to take over the pharmacy and do a few of those things. Oh, another thing, I don't think I told you that it was last Friday, Larry got a vasectomy. He had we have a new urologist in the clinic, Dr. Dick. Isn't that an appropriate name for a urologist? Anyhow, he did Larry's vasectomy for him Friday morning there at the clinic. And Larry was a little sore. He had to put some ice, to keep the swelling down and things. And when I went to that shower that the girls had for Bonnie, Ginger, who is Joshua's godmother, she said to Bonnie, you'll never know what Krista Ann told me. I guess she picked up Krista and took her to they had a birthday party down at Happy Joe's. And of course, Krista doesn't miss a thing. And of course, they were curious. When Larry came home, we had ice packs down there, and I guess she just said, well, he had to have a little operation, had to cut a little cord or something, passed it off. But Ginger said the car full of kids, and Krista Ann got right in there, right next to her, and she said, Ginger, you know what? Ginger said, no, what, Krista Annie? And she said, my dad had his cord cut. And she says, I said, your dad had what? And she says, my dad had his cord cut today. And she said, cord? And Ginger said, the boys in the back were listening, and they said, what do you mean cord? And she said, oh, right down there by your penis. Of course, they say penis like you'd say, they were taught that, like you'd say nose or finger, or they always maintained that was part of the body, and there was no sense of calling it some slang word. If you call a nose, you should call a penis. But Ginger said she just nearly cracked up. So the word was out. Chris Ann kind of passed the word around that her dad had a vasectomy. Benny Wood's wife is there. She's a good friend of Bonnie's, too, and she teaches over to Holly, 2nd grade. Amy's not in her class, but they got Amy in the other class. She just thought it was better because Amy knows her so well. But she was there, too, and she knew that Larry was going to get one that night. And she said, Bonnie, I'll just bet you anything that I know what Chris Ann had to say Monday morning at show and tell time. And Bonnie says, oh, my God, you don't suppose. And I wouldn't be a bit surprised. She said, I'm gonna have to get a hold of her teacher and see what Krista Ann had to say at show and tell time. They're supposed to tell, something, the current events that are important to them for the day. And she probably made the announcement and probably didn't hesitate to use the word that she uses either. But I haven't talked to Bonnie since then. But then she was kidding her. She said, well, if she did miss it, why, she said, I think I'll catch Krista as she comes into school tomorrow and kind of refresh her mind that she might be able to give it to him that day. Isn't that awful? make fun of that. But he's feeling just fine now, and he said, he told Bonnie, he said, now there's no more excuse about gaining weight because you're on the pill. So this evidently was the best bet, because after as hard as Josh was to come, and they're not getting any younger, and 3 children are all that he can raise, that is for sure. So it was the wisest thing to do, I guess. And that was their decision, so this is fine with me. Well, sweethearts, I can't think of any more current events. I really can't. I had planned, I saw Doris McHenry, let's see, two weeks ago, Saturday, at Yonkers, and I asked her if she had been over to see Corinne Kruger yet. And she said no, so I said, well, let's set a date and go over and see her some evening. It'll just be easier with 2 of us. So we were going to go either last night or tonight, and I called yesterday all day, and she was gone. I talked to her today, and she had gone to Des Moines for the day, and was going somewhere tonight. So we set a date for next Wednesday. So I'll pick up Doris McHenry, and we'll go over there and talk to her for a while. It's something, like I say, that I've been going to do, and just been something that was real easy to put off. When I get home, I am ready to just plunk and not do anything, but something that I have to do. Then I had bad news. I was all shook up. Let's see, this is Wednesday. Last night. You've heard me mention Arlene, the gal that's so much fun in the department, that decorated my car, and just a great gal. Her husband Denny, who is also just a real nice young man. Now, I'm not sure how old Denny is, but Arlene is 37, so Denny should be, around that age. He had been real tired, and Arlene finally got him in there. His hemoglobin was only 3, which is nothing but near death. It really is. And they took him to the hospital, and we left for Florida, and so I thought of her so many times when we were down there. When I got back, they had sent him to Rochester, and was still in Rochester, and he came back, and Arlene thought he was doing pretty good, and I noticed for a week she'd just been face just hanging a mile long, and not Arlene. I caught her in the hall yesterday. I said, Arlene, I'm going to give you a good talking to, honey. I said, your personality has changed completely, and I said, with Denny being sick, but I said, honey, you could have it so much worse. And then she started to cry. She said, Joanne, Denny is dying. And we went into her room, and she cried, and I cried, and I feel so far. She said, my whole world is just gone. They give him 4 or 5 years. She's got cancer of the blood and bone marrow. So they've got 2 boys, one in grade school and one in high school. And like I said, they're just a wonderful little family, and my heart just bleeds for them. They're in Rochester today. I didn't get to see her today, but I'm sure saying prayers for her, and something she's really got to work out. She cries all the time, and which doesn't help Denny any. So I told her, I said, when you go up there this week, just ask the doctor how you're to handle this. She's a very religious girl too, and nothing seems to help. And I said, Arlene, you just ask him, because I'm sure they probably have someone there that could even talk to you and maybe make you feel a lot better. So I'm anxious to see her when she gets back, but my heart just bleeds for them. How lucky we all are to have the years that we've had already. Isn't that truth? And we just live each day and enjoy it and count our blessings. Well, sweethearts, I'm looking at this tape. I about got it shot. I probably won't tape again. You'll be coming home, well, the first part of next month. I'll drop you a line. But yeah, I am looking at this just about shot. So I wish you'd leave the trailer there, Daddy, but if you don't want to, that, like I say, is your decision. But for goodness sakes, drive carefully and don't overtire yourself, either one of you. You be sure and let me know when you want me to turn on electricity, and we'll have it all shined up for you, and your yard looks real nice. When we walked up there the other day, somebody had knocked down another one of those metal things you pound in the yard. Broke it right off, broke it off. The part of it's still in the ground. So we took it and pulled it up under the front porch with the other one. But our snow season, I hope, is pretty well over. You never know. We still could have another one. The boys' basketball season is on now, and I still won't forget that one we had in April, just, I think, about a week before you folks come home, or 2 weeks before you come home that one year, that covered cars out here. So